frustrations among some Senate investigators looking into Russia's election meddling and alleged ties to the Trump camp. Let's bring in our senior congressional reporter, Manu Raju. He's up on Capitol Hill. Manu, the Senate probe was supposed to be the one that was running smoothly, especially compared to the early dysfunction in the House Intelligence Committee investigation. What's the latest?
Yeah, Wolf, that's right. Tonight, actually growing tension on party lines about the pace of the Senate's investigation, with Democrats saying it needs to move much faster and Republicans pushing back, saying this needs to be a thorough investigation, a deep dive into what happened in last year's election. But just moments ago, Wolf, the top Democrat in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, weighing in with reporters saying this: I think the Senate committee should move more quickly. It's going very slowly. Tonight, new signs of tension in the Senate's bipartisan inquiry into Russian meddling in the elections, with some Democrats now concerned that the committee is moving far too slowly to uncover allegations that Trump associates colluded with the Russians last year.
It is not moving fast enough today. It is not moving transparently enough today. I have said that repeatedly to the chair and the vice chair. And once again, I want to make it clear that I have serious questions about the pace of this investigation.
It took nearly 2 months of negotiations for the intelligence community to provide reams of top-secret information to the Senate panel. And now the committee is interviewing analysts to learn what information the intelligence community left out of a January assessment that said Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a cyber campaign to sabotage the U.S. elections and help elect Donald Trump. So far, the panel has yet to interview any of the top Trump associates suspected of keeping in contact with the Russians. And a source with knowledge of private discussions tells CNN that the committee's top Democrat, Mark Warner, is, quote, very frustrated at the pace of the committee's investigation. Some privately laying the blame on the Republican chairman, Richard Burr, for not expressing a sense of urgency. Tonight, Republicans are pushing back, with committee member James Langford tweeting, "Don't confuse silence for a lack of progress."
We go through a lot of documents. We go through interviews. We're going through all that process, but we are doing it in quiet.
Senator Susan Collins telling CNN that today she urged the CIA's general counsel nominee to keep open lines of communication with the committee, and saying,
obviously, I wish there were a way that it could go even more quickly, but I think it's important that we be thorough.
All this amid a new CNN report that the FBI has gathered intelligence suggesting that Russian operatives enlisted some Trump advisors to infiltrate the Trump campaign. Among those advisors, Carter Page, who has denied any wrongdoing and has offered to testify before the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. Warner and Burr have suggested that the committee will talk to Page, along with Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, once the initial rounds of interviews are finally complete.
But what we want to do, unlike maybe other institutions that might be looking into this, we think we need to do this in an orderly fashion. Go through the intelligence, talk to the analysts who put together the report, so that we then bring in some of these bigger names. We'll know what questions to ask.
Now, Wolf, responding to those concerns, the Senate Intelligence Committee now plans to hire 2 new investigators as part of its staff going through this documents and review and intelligence that they've received from the intelligence community. Warner telling our colleague Tom LoBianco just moments ago that the committee has spoken to at least 27 witnesses so far, but they still have not scheduled a time to bring in those Trump associates to come in and testify under oath. It still remains to be seen, Wolf, whether or not any of those will be public. But one public hearing will take place next week before the House Intelligence Committee next week, Wolf, where several former Obama officials will testify, including the former Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, who of course privately warned that Michael Flynn, that Trump ex-national security advisor, could have been susceptible to Russian blackmail.
Yeah, and that session will be open to reporters and to the public. Manu Raju up on Capitol Hill. Good reporting. Thanks very much.